Assalamualaikum and very good morning everyone. My name is Prof. Arya. I would like to introduce to you our optometry lab where you will be doing your visual optics and clinical optometry lab training before you see real patients in our optometry clinic. This is our clinical optometry lab. You will see a lot of equipments here where you will learn how to use all these equipments throughout your first, second and third year of studies in optometry. In this lab you see a lot of cubicles or workstations where you will be working in pairs or with one of your friends, and you will see a lot of other equipments as well, but I'm going to demonstrate to you equipment that is available in one of the cubicles which you will use in your optics or visual optics lab. This is the Snellen box where you can see the Snellen chart here, various kind of Snellen chart. You also can see the duochrome chart beneath the Snellen chart, as well as the fan chart, okay, for you to use for the subjective refraction. And these are the switch where you need to light the Snellen box before you start any measurements in the clinic. And beneath this, on the wall of the cubicle, you will find a switch where you need to switch on the lights of the cubicle before you start any measurements, any measurements or any visual acuity measurements. Here you can see a trial case. I'm going to demonstrate to you how to open the trial case and what's the content of the trial case which you will use in the second lab of visual optics. Now this is how you open it. You need to unlock the back first, okay? And when you open it, and you'll see a lot of lenses inside. All the doors are colored in orange, red or brighter colors are minus lenses. You're going to see concave sphere lens. These are all minus sphere lens. And those colored in black are all convex lenses or plus lenses, and these are all convex sphere lenses. And the one in the middle are concave cylinder lenses, the one that is colored in orange, and the one that is colored in black is the convex cylinder lenses. For the concave cylinder lens or convex cylinder lens, there is a marking on the lens so that you can differentiate the cylinder lens and the sphere lens. As you can see, there is no marking on the sphere lenses, but there are white markings on the cylinder lens, which indicates the axis of the astigmatism. You will also see some accessories lens in this trial case and some prisms which will not be used in our lab for this semester. And this is a trial frame which will also be used later in the second lab, which we will put in, which you need to put on the patient, and you can put in the sphere lens as well as the cylinder lens on the trial frame so that the patient can read through the lenses. You will also see a few cross cylinder available in the trial case. As I mentioned in my lecture, these cross cylinder are used to determine the cylinder power of the eye in subjective refraction. I'm going to explain to you the procedure of doing lab 1, which is visual acuity recording. Please make sure that you have the manual of lab 1 with you when you listen or watching this video. The purpose of this lab is to measure visual acuity using Snellen chart and logMAR chart. Before taking any VA measurements, please ensure that the lights of the Snellen box and the lights of the cubicle are switched on. Ensure that the mirror is at 3-meter distance in front of the patient or subject, and refer to the red tape on the floor. This is a 3-meter marking in front of the subject. Ask the subject to remove her glasses or contact lenses before measurements is taken. Ask the subject now to occlude her left eye using the left palm of her hand. And now we can start the visual acuity measurement using the Snellen chart. Now we ask the patient to read the letters from the Snellen chart. Now, if the patient cannot see the top letter, we have to move the mirror closer to the patient. Move the mirror closer to the patient until the patient can see the top letters on the Snellen. Okay? And now we ask the patient to read the letters on the Snellen chart at a distance of less than 3 meters. And now the VA of this, we record the VA of the patient. The VA is now less than 6 meters. After recording the visual acuity of the right eye, and now we repeat similar procedure for the left eye. To determine the association between refractive error and visual acuity, you need to know the power of your subject's spectacles. We will be using a forcimeter to determine the power of the spectacles. Your supervisor or your lab supervisor will assist you to use this instrument. This is the second procedure of our lab. You need to measure visual acuity using logma chart. This is a logma chart that is available in our lab, and this chart is to be tested at 3 meters or 10 feet. To ensure that the subject is standing at 3 meters in front of the chart, you need to use a measuring tape and measure the distance from the chart to the subject before visual acuity is measured. Before taking measurements using the logma chart, ask your subject or patient to remove their glasses or contact lens first. Occlude the left eye using the palm of her left hand and start taking visual acuity using the logma chart, following similar procedure as you have done using the Snellen chart earlier. Now I'm going to explain the procedure for the second lab, which is looking at the association between refractive error and visual acuity. Before we begin, we need to switch on the lights for the Snellen chart as well as the lights for the cubicle. And also please ensure that the mirror is located at 3 meters in front of the subject. In this lab, you need to take visual acuity with the spectacles on the patient. So you ask the patient to occlude their left eye using the palm of their hand and start to take the VA of the right eye. Once you recorded the visual acuity of the right eye, you ask the patient to pull a sphere lens. This is a -1, the sphere lens, and put it in front of their right eye and start taking visual acuity again. Once you've recorded the visual acuity, you remove the lens and start taking the next power, which is ±2, and repeat the whole procedure again. So you only take visual acuity of one eye for both minus and plus sphere lenses. After you have completed your measurements and record all your answers in your manuals, please answer all the questions given in the manuals and submit them to me through emails.